On the Justice Court, the plaintiff, Olayinka Emmanuel, is suing Oretide Foods Limited for the sum of 3.7 million naira claim on food export contract that was alleged has been poorly executed.
All rise. Court in session. Honorable Judge Fumi Asaolu presiding. Please. Your Honor, this case is between Olayinka Emmanuel and Oluwatemiloran Iretide. Parties for them.
Thank you, Aki.
You're welcome.
Olayinka Emmanuel.
Good morning, good afternoon, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me why you have brought the defendant here?
Okay, my name is Olayinka Emmanuel. I'm going to start from the very beginning how I met her and why we are here today. So I met, I live here in the US. I wanted to start a food business. I went to my aunt, who is also a witness there in court today. And I explained to her that I want to start a food business. I don't know anything about it. Do you know how we can go about it? She now said, oh, she met someone. She saw an advert on Instagram recently of a lady that said that she exports food for people, so that she will help me get her contact and send it to me. And she sent the contact to me immediately. So, which happens to be Oretide Food Limited. I reached out to her that same day. That was in June of 2021. This is 2022, yes, June of 2021. I reached out to her immediately and I called her on phone. I called her, I said, okay, my name is Olayinka Orolua. I'm trying to start a food business here. I don't know anything about it. My aunt gave me your IG contact that you said you're into export for over 5 years. And she said, oh, yes, that's what she does. I went through her Instagram page. I saw that she sell all those foodstuffs like she said. So, and I started asking her questions. I said, this is my first time. I don't know anything about this business. So you will be the one to practically guide me into everything we are doing. All you have to tell me is to pay and I'll pay. So we talked about that. So I said, okay, tell me how much it will cost to ship a container from Nigeria to the US. So she sent me a list of how much it will cost. I said, okay. I said, so now let's talk about the paperwork, because I know that there are a lot of paperwork that will be involved. So before we start talking about buying stuff, let's talk about the paperwork first. Then we did. So she said, I have to get FDA number. I have to get a custom agent that will clear the container here. I said, do you have anyone that you can recommend for me? She said she does not have anyone. So I talked to some people. I got a contact of a custom agent clearance here. So she told me that I have to have an FDA number, that without the FDA number, I won't be able to clear the container. So I said, okay, let's work on the FDA number. In trying to get the FDA number, it took us a while. And she recommended some people for me to go get the FDA number from them, which they are in Nigeria. To cut the long story short, my husband was able to work on it to get the FDA number. After we got the FDA number and other June's number as well that we need to clear the container, I went back to her. I said, okay, now we can now start buying the food items because now we have the FDA number. Then we started buying. So before we started buying things, I told my aunt to go and help me visit her, because my aunt will be the one paying her the money. And I just don't want a transaction whereby I'm paying money to someone that we've not seen physically. So my aunt went there before we even got the June's number. My aunt went to our shop in Oyingbo. My aunt sat down with her and explained everything. They talked. And my aunt told her that this is the first time I'm doing this business. I've not done this business before. She should please tell us if there is anything. She should not hide anything from us. If there's anything we need to do, she should just let us know so that we will not be stressed or anything about it. So when my aunt met her, she came back and told me, my aunt told me that, already today, oh, she feels that she was open with her, and she feels that we can go ahead and do business with her from what she has seen. I said, okay. So that same day, we started buying the stuff. So we started buying all the other things. We bought we bought every other thing mostly from her. The catfish, crayfish, stockfish, everything we bought from her. While we were buying all these things, already today will pick her call. There's no time that I call already today, she will always pick her call. Even sometimes I will send that message because I understand the time difference. I'll send that message that, can I call you? Because I know that it is already late in Nigeria. She said, oh yes, you can go ahead and call me. So she always pick her calls. After we bought everything, we finished buying everything. And while loading the container, we realized that there was still so many space in the container. Because it was my first time, I didn't have any idea of what quantity of things that can fill up the container. After we bought everything, so there was still space. We now said, okay, they will buy more stuff, the already packed stuff. So we bought noodles and golden meal. And she said, someone will go and put it in the container for us. After the container had loaded in our office in Oyibo, they took the remaining noodles and golden meal. They went to go and load it in the, I think in Apapa, where the container was. They went there to go and load it. She said she will follow them there to go and load it. The plan was that she was going to be the one that would do everything with the bringing of the container here and everything. So when we got to the paperwork part, she wasn't picking up her calls again. I'll call her 2-3 days. She wasn't picking. And I called my aunt and I told my aunt that this is what is going on. Help me call already today and asked her that as our business finished. So my aunt called her daddy and she said, no, that she's busy. She's been very busy a lot these days. That our business has not finished though. That until I receive the container, that I receive my goods, that's when the transaction is complete. I said, okay. So while we were doing that, so when she told me how much I was going to pay, she told me a total of 900,000. That's what I was going to pay. So when the container left, that's when she introduced someone that is called Agent Tunde or something, which was not part of the picture before. And that one was now asking me for freight money. I said, which is $2,500. I said, already they never told me about freight money, because one of the things that I do before I do business is that I know what is entailed, what I need from the very beginning, not that in between things will start coming up. So I said, nobody told me about any freight. I don't understand what you mean by freight money. And I called her and asked her that, what are you talking about, $2,500 that I'm going to pay? You told me that the only money that I'm going to pay to bring the container from Nigeria to the US is 900,000, which I have paid to you. So she now said, that she's sorry or she doesn't know. I said, okay, because already my container was already with them. I bought things worth millions of naira. There's nothing I can do again about it. I went to look for the 2,500. We paid the money. We paid the money directly to Blumadi, which is the shipper. The paperwork for the container gave us a lot of stress going back and forth. Then I'll call her today, okay, how far with the documents? She won't pick my calls. She won't respond to messages. So one day, she kept on saying, I'll get back to you tomorrow. I'll get back to you. The agent wasn't picking the calls as well. The agent that she's using. I'm the one that invested money. I became a little worried. And after I've waited for over almost 1 month, that no paperwork, container was just lying there in Nigeria. And I said, already today, why are you like this? You're not even like proactive about this anymore. Is it because your money is not tied down? Because I've paid you for everything. Is that why you are now behaving like this? After we got the container, they opened the container. The custom agent here called me and told me and said that, oh, they are going to examine your container. And from what they've seen, they said that there's alcohol in your container. I said, I did not buy alcohol. There cannot be alcohol in the container. That it is not my container. And I said that, please, check the name of the number of the container. If it is really ours, that I did not buy any alcohol. I did not pay for any alcohol. In our manifesto, there is no alcohol in it. So they said that it is our container, that she's sure. She now said, do I want them to go ahead and examine those items? I said, yes, they should go ahead, because I was so sure I didn't buy alcohol. At this time already, so was not picking our calls again. So we didn't even bother reaching out to her because she wasn't picking my calls, she wasn't picking my husband's calls, she wasn't picking my auntie's call, Mrs. Yola that is there in court. She wasn't picking anybody's calls. So we decided that they should go ahead and examine it. And they examined it. They found the alcohol in it. They found that it was alcohol, aluminium bitters and stuff like that. I have all the paperwork and it is there with my aunts in the court. So I was so baffled. They sent a letter, a federal warning to me in the house. I saw it in the morning, federal warning, because this is a felony offense that I don't have a license to carry alcohol and I'm bringing alcohol into the country. I was so scared and we started calling the agency that sent us the letter that I don't know anything about it. I did not import alcohol, I did not buy alcohol and all that. So they said, okay, this is what is going to happen. We're going to pay for destruction. They are going to destroy it and we're going to pay for destruction fee. We are going to find a authorized waste destruction person. Husband now told her.
Hello. So what is your claim? What is your claim right now?
So my claim is that I have brought out all the amount of money that we spent for the destruction of the alcohol, for the examination fees and the chassis fee that we spent, and everything that was missing.
Okay, what's the total sum?
3.7 million, ma'am.
The plaintiff, Olayinka Emmanuel, a Nigerian in diaspora interested in starting the business of importing food items to America from Nigeria, engaged Oretide Foods Nigeria Limited to source and export various food items to her in the USA. She alleges that alcohol was packaged with the food items supplied and some of the listed food items were missing in the container shipped. She is in court to claim 3.7 million naira, being the sum spent on inspection and destruction of the alcohol included in a container and the cost of missing food items in the shipment. Okay.
We'll give the breakdown later. I want to have a response to all this.
My name is Oluwatemi. I am the CEO of Oretide Foods Limited. In June 2021.
Can you hear her now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, she reached out to me in June 2021 that she wanted to export foodstuff to the US, that she's doing it for the first time and she wanted me to put that through. And I gave her every breakdown she needed. One, if I'm the one that is going to source for every good in that container from the beginning to the end, then you can use my FDA. But if you're going to bring goods from different sources, you won't be able to use my FDA because if there is issue with that container, if there is a contraband or anything in that container, my FDA, which is equivalent to what we have as NAFDAC here in Nigeria, is going to be revoked in the USA. And we agreed. She said she wanted to do FDA, she did FDA, and then we agreed that I was going to be the one to load the entirety of the container. Along the line, she came back again and said no, and she wants to source from other places, this, that. I gave her conditions. The only reason why you use my FDA is if I'm going to be the one that knows the entire source, because I will not allow you to use my FDA to clear goods that I don't know the sources. So we started. She paid for crayfish.
Is that correct?
You said, is that correct?
Yes, because she said she informed you that if you're going to source from any other, if you're buying from any other source to put in the container, that she will not release her FDA.
That was when I asked her, okay, so the issue of FDA came up from me. And her saying that she will not release the FDA came later at the end when I asked her for her FDA number. She didn't tell me from the beginning.
But she told you. You were informed.
At the end, after we have bought everything.
I'm not asking about the
after
time.
the
I'm not asking about. I just want to know whether she actually informed you or not.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And she said we will pay for it to use it. If we want to use it, she said I will pay her for it. Okay. And I said yes.
Okay.
All right.
Then all the things that were okay, go ahead.
All right. So along the line, she paid me for the things that she was going to buy from me: stockfish, crayfish, egusi. I started processing everything. Along the line, her mom brought elubo. That's yam flour. Her sister here brought noodles, brought golden more. Somebody else brought ofada. Somebody else packaged palm oil. I sell all these things. But maybe she was trying to cut costs, I don't understand. she just started bringing things from different sources. I thought that there are contrabands to the USA. Fish and meat products, they are contraband to the USA. Along the line, somebody brought a whole bag of smoked snails. I don't know anything about that. And I told her, these things that you're loading into this container, it most likely will give you issues because contraband is not allowed there compared to here in Nigeria. Along the line, she said, I shouldn't worry that she's been in contact with her agent. Then there is something called NXP. I explained to her from the onset. If you're loading from Nigeria, NXP is from the Central Bank of Nigeria. There's supposed to be an agreement. If you're loading any goods here from Nigeria, when it gets there, CBN will give you about 3 months to pay back the money into our account. We had an agreement. There are voice notes on my phone to all this agreement that we had. So along the line, she brought a lot of things, snails, honey, as we were bringing those things, I was telling her, somebody has brought honey, somebody has brought this sticker, pouch, she brought a lot. In fact, what I loaded in the container is about 1/6 or 1/8. Most of the things that filled up that container was bought by herself from the USA from other sources. So we eventually finished. We loaded. She wanted to load ogbono in the container. I told her, you can't load ogbono in that container because it's going to get spoiled before it gets there. She paid me for ogbono. She paid me for tail and fish. I told her those things cannot go with the container because of the duration of which it's going to get there. I told her about the stock fish. She said I shouldn't worry, I should load it. So I started loading all these things. I loaded everything. On the day we were supposed to load the container out of my store, her sister was at my place. We loaded. I think she didn't come earlier or she came, but she was there when we were loading the container. When we were done loading, I told her this container is not filled up. Because she was not buying the entirety of the goods from me. I didn't know what she was expecting. So along the line, the container was halfway. That was the day it was going to leave my store. So he left my store. I told her she needs to buy some so that she doesn't just ship an half-filled container. Initially, I told her about freight as well, that freight could be postpaid and it could be prepaid. I just told her that we didn't expatiate on that at all. So we started loading and we loaded everything. I'm coming. Yeah, she actually paid for beans. She paid for sorting of beans. She paid for.
Were the beans sorted?
Yeah, it was partially sorted.
Partially sorted.
Yes. She paid for partial sorting.
She paid for partial.
She paid for partial. I told her there is partial sorting and there is thorough sorting. She actually paid for partial sorting.
Okay. And what do you mean by partial sorting and full sorting?
Partial sorting is like if you get into a market now, a normal market here, you buy beans from an Igbo man. It has a little bit of dirt in it. But that's partial sorting. But thorough sorting, me and myself, I sell here in Nigeria, it's totally so. You just buy and cook straight. So that's the difference between partial and thorough sorting. So along the line, when the container finished loading, we had issues with documentation. And because she's in the US, I told her, you need to be patient. This is Nigeria. Customs are not as fast as you compare to the US. But she was so impatient. I even had to rub hands. I showed her the receipt. See, I had rubbed hands, 10K here, 20K here. She was so impatient. She kept comparing. No, it's not like that. Yeah, it's not like... She was so impatient. So, all right, even before we started loading container, I told her about NXP, that it's a standing order by the CBN. That if I'm loading for you, then that means when the goods gets to you, you're going to pay, I think we agreed on 1.5 million naira. Then after 60 days, then CBN refunds and I'll send back to you. We reached an agreement on that. So towards the end of when we were going to stop loading container, I noticed that she started putting up that maybe she doesn't want to pay for NXP. And I agreed that it was going to be my issue because there was nothing I could do. She was not in Nigeria. We didn't sign any written agreement that she was going to pay the NXP through CBN. So we loaded the container. Then later, when it was not filled up, she asked her sister to buy some things. Carton of Indomie, I think more palm oil, and then golden more in cartons. All these things I couldn't have started opening because they were already packaged. I didn't know what was them. That was one of the reasons why I did not release my FD, because I wouldn't be held responsible for things I did not package. So the container eventually left. I gave our sister the bill of lading. Initially, there was a mistake. We were supposed to give her the original. We were supposed to give her the original copy, but my staff mistakenly sent her a photocopy. And when she notified me that it was a photocopy, I immediately sent a rider to give her the original copy. That's the document in there to clear the container over there. Concerning the telex that she was talking about, immediately the goods left my place. It had left my own aspect. My agent was in contact with her, so she was in contact with my agent, this is what is needed, this is what is needed. And everything that she said was needed, my agent tried to provide for her. So the container left, and then it got to the US. I think it arrived in the US in December. She didn't later call me because she was trying to evade not paying NSP, which is 1.5 million naira. She stopped contact with me. So when they were about to clear the container, because we already had the initial agreement that I was going to load the entirety of the container, I loaded the container in my name, hoping that they're going to use my FDA to clear over there. But she thought that she was going to be able to use her FDA to clear, whereas the container left my name, her FDA would be useless at that stage. So she reached out to me that the container has arrived. She wanted my FDA, even if it's going to cost her to pay. I said, madam, you cannot pay me for that because I know that you loaded contraband in that container. And if the US government gets to discover that the
How did you know that there was contraband?
snail, I told her, snail, as in smoked snail, was not allowed to the US. She even wanted to load pomo. I told her, no, you can't load pomo. I wouldn't load it for you. So, and somebody brought ofada. The ofada was already packed in pouches. I didn't open. I just showed that she made a video of this person supplied this person. Most of those things were packed by the people she bought from. I just sent that video. This is what is here. She bought pouches. I showed that video. I was sending her videos and telling her of what each of our suppliers supplied me. So when the container got to the US, she was asking for my FDA. I said, madam, you can't use my FDA because there's a voice note in which we agree that you wouldn't use my FDA to clear. The husband kept begging. I insisted I would not release my. They were begging until I think January 3 or so. I said I wouldn't release my FDA. So that means they had to do an entirety of the documentation. That means that it has to remove my name because I refused to provide my FDA. So that's why they stated that I had to pay for documentation because they had to do another one entirely. And that was not my fault because we had an initial agreement. They charged me 500,000 for that. So, January 22nd, the WhatsApp chat is on my phone. She actually called me. She's a little bit impatient. I've noticed that. So when I'm with her, I'm mostly calm. So she called me. All right, today, I bought 40 bottles of honey. I can only find 20 bottles of honey. What happened? You have clinic? I said, madam, please calm down. Check through your records. I'll check through mine. It was in the night, around 9 p.m. that she called me. Check your record. Let me check mine too. If truly 40 bottles of honey was delivered to me and you got 20, I will refund you. But go and check your record. She was so impatient. The husband had to collect the phone from her and say, all right, today, check. Let us check there. So when I checked that chat, I noticed where I wrote 20 bottles of honey received. And I swiped and sent to her. And I told her, why were you lying? You should have checked your records properly, even before you reached out to me that 20 bottles of honey was missing. That was January 22nd. The container got to the US December 22nd. That was the first complaint she had for the year. So she said a sticker was missing as well. I said, I don't believe that stickers is missing because your sticker has your name, has your business name on it. It is virtually useless to me. I can't use it on my product. I can't use it for anything. Please check your container properly. You would find your sticker in your container. She said, no, I did not put this. She was so loud and impatient. I just told her, madam, please check. Stop lying. And I dropped the call. I sent her a message that, why are you lying that this? So that was all. That was that section. Then that means they had already checked the container as at that time. I did not hear anything concerning alcohol. As at when I heard about the honey, I heard nothing about alcohol. The honey was on January 22nd. So February 11, almost a month, the husband messaged me on WhatsApp. It's here. He said he wanted to speak with me. And I gave him time. He said, let's speak. And I was on transit. Let's speak so time in the night. And they called me. And when they called me, the husband said they found alcohol in the container. I said, container that's gotten to you December 22nd. You are calling me February 11 that you found alcohol. When you found alcohol, why not make a video? This is your container. This is your container number. And send to me that you actually found alcohol in the container there for you. He said, no, they didn't want to disturb me. They wanted to sort everything out before they reach out to me. And now, they've sorted everything out. The money they spent is kinikon million. I can't remember the amount. So I just smiled and said, when your container got to you December 22nd, you're telling me February 11 that you found alcohol in that container. After almost 2 months, that's not possible. It's not possible. And how will you have bought foodstuff from me? I don't sell foodstuff. Check my Instagram page. I don't sell alcohol. I sell foodstuff. How would you have bought foodstuff from me and I will now use alcohol to do jara? I've never been to the US. I've never been to Ghana. I've never been to any of the countries that has this. How would I not use alcohol to do jara? What type of nonsense is this one now? NSP, just because you don't want to pay this NSP 1.5, and I've agreed I will pay. So they said they paid, can you come to destroy it? Okay, I said, okay, did you have a picture of when the alcohol was in the container? She said no. She said they only have a picture of when they were destroying it. Okay, they sent me the picture. I called my agent. My agent said, this is nonsense. Why would they say we use alcohol to do jara for them? When they sent the picture of the alcohol, the beer was, I think, club beer or something. The picture is still on my phone. I think I don't go. I was surprised. I've never seen this type of alcohol before. I was so bothered. I met people. I even met a lawyer. The lawyer said, let's check. And we checked the alcohol. The alcohol is made by Ghana breweries. I loaded your container in Lagos. How will I load your container in Lagos, Nigeria? I've never been to Ghana before. And you tell me that you found alcohol made by Ghana breweries. Club beer, the picture is on my phone. In the container loaded from Lagos, Nigeria to the USA. No. Then what are you saying? Are you trying to just make trouble with me for me refusing to release my FDA number to you, or because you don't want to pay NXP? I didn't understand. I thought, okay, let me reach out to my agent. I reached out to my agent, was like, alcohol, ni bosibo, talofisi, chejarani. You know, we were surprised. I thought it was a joke. That maybe you have to pay for money FDA number. And that was all. Until I got a call that she has taken me to court for loading alcohol. And I don't sell alcohol. I don't even take alcohol. So I don't know how I'll now use alcohol to do jara for you buying stockfish and crayfish for me. That's what I can say for now.
The defendant, Oluwatemilorun Iretide, the CEO of Oretide Foods Nigeria Limited, claims that the food export contract was executed as agreed and dismisses the 3.7 million naira claim from the plaintiff. She stated that she does not sell alcohol and has no reason to include alcohol as a bonus in the container for the customer. She thinks this alcohol story is a joke and a way of getting back to her for not allowing the plaintiff to use Oretide FDA license to clear the container in the USA. Judge Fomi wades into this matter as the court proceeding continues in the next episode.
Have you been cheated or have a dispute and want justice? Don't take laws into your hands. Log on to www.thejusticecourt.com and submit your case.